Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another live stream. This is my third live stream of the day. 3 live streams in one day. Can you imagine it? I had my members only stream, which ended up not being a members only stream this morning. If you've been on my channel or you were there live, you would have known. I tried doing a members stream. I, for some reason, ticked everyone can view it. So it was basically just another live stream. We then did a GeoGuessr live stream on my other channel, and now we're sat here doing another stream. So some of you would have watched me 3 times today, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Mate, how are you celebrating when Arsenal officially bottled the league? I'm not talking about it yet, but yes, it will be a marvellous day. Let's see. It looks like it will almost definitely go down to the final day. Because let's say even... I don't know, let's say one of the teams wins every game and one of them loses a game. It's still going to go down to the final day. So yeah, it looks like Game Week 38 is going to be an absolute banger. And it also looks like the relegation could go down to the final day as well. So is this the members only stream this week? No members only stream apparently. Doesn't exist. Russ, mate, hope you're great. I'm well, thank you. Good to see you, by the way. And thank you for being a member for 24 months. Got your free hit team. Raya, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Pedro Porro, Mavropanos. I actually really like that back four. Salah, Bruno, Gibbs-White, Wilson, Bowen, Solanke. Would you change anyone in the attack as I'm set on the defence? Yeah, I don't blame you for being set on the defence. Bruno, Gibbs-White, Wilson, Bowen, Solanke. Salah. Is there anyone I would change there? Is there anyone you're missing? I can't really think of anyone. Like the dead certs for me would be Salah and Bruno. I think outside Salah and Bruno, you can do what you want. Gibbs White tonight sounds pretty fun. I think Wilson is probably quite underrated on free hit. Bowen and Solanke feels pretty solid. No, I can't see any massive issues with that at all. I quite like it. Less members only streams, keep it inclusive. I do 5 videos a week and a live stream. I think people can cope with I do 1 extra members stream for the YouTube members. That green screen is there you go. You'd think I'm an expert by now, but I'm not. Absolutely not. Garner or Dewsbury Hall? Definitely Dewsbury Hall. Like, listen, I'm about as big a fan of James Garner as you can find. Like, he's my hero. But I'm pretty sure I'd go Dewsbury Hall or Iliman Ndiaye if you want a penalty taker. Reese says, hello, mate. Hello, Reese. Thank you for the super chat. Free hit 34. Raya, Van Dijk, Porro, Gabriel. Yeah, the standard back line. I really like Eberechi Eze, Iliman Ndiaye, Enzo Lafille, Bruno Salah, Watkins, Bowen. I love that team. That's a bit of me, that team. You've got penalty takers. You've got 2 of my favourite players in midfield, Iliman Ndiaye, Enzo Lafille. I think they're both fantastic. Both of them, you have to say their full name. You can't just say Ndiaye, you have to say Iliman. And you can't say Lafille without Enzo. I do love a player where... Guys, what are some players where you have to say their entire name? Like, you can't just say their surname. You've got to give them the first name as well. Anyway, chasing 50 points of bench boost and triple captain left. I think you could do very well, my friend. That's a really nice team. Wow, this is a unique free hit. Good luck, Ross. Yeah, I wish I had the free hit. No, I'm still happy I chose the chip strategy I did. What I actually want to do, though, is the team's not looking very aesthetic. I also would quite like on Monday night to be able to do a screenshot of my boys. So what we're going to do is that, and then that, and then... No. Then we do that. Then we're going to do that. Is that better? No, you went the wrong side. Okay. That, and then... There we go. Does that look better? Perhaps. I think it's slightly better. Slightly more aesthetic, you know? Have you constructed a wildcard team? What, for tonight? No, but we could maybe have a look at one. Depends how chilled the live stream is. Depends how many questions we have coming in. But if it dies down a bit at any point, maybe we can take a cheeky look at a wildcard. If you mean a wildcard for this week, I've not looked at it, no. Because I really don't like this week to wildcard. In fact, I just don't... It could work, like it could, but... Trying to navigate this week and build a good team for the final 4 weeks just doesn't really go hand in hand. Because a lot of the players you'd want this week, this is why people are free hitting, aren't really the players you want long term. So no, I haven't really looked at a wild card this week, if that was the question. AJ Benin, thank you for the very superish generous super chat. I appreciate it. 5 free transfers, 2 million in the bank. Raya Dubravka, Gabriel, Tarkovsky, VDB, Anderson Richards, Bruno Fernandes, Anderson Wilson, Mbermo Lafille, Bowen, Thiago Haaland. Thinking Mbermo and Van den Berg to Mavropanos and Rice. Am I missing anything else, do you think? Wildcard next week. Well, you can definitely get aggressive with the transfers. I don't know that I'd sell Mbermo. Am I missing something? Like, Mbermo was seen in training, so unless you think he could be benched, of course, but I know he's yellow flagged, but I would be okay with him in there. Is there anything else you could do with that team? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got your 7 attackers. You've got your defense. It's a great team, to be fair. Yeah, I guess. What I would be tempted to do is like Haaland and Mbermo to Salah and another forward. That would interest me. Or just do Mbermo to Rice. Because I think you can play Gabriel, Tarkovsky and Anderson as your defenders. I don't know, mate. Like that's just a really good team. Using transfers doesn't seem that necessary. If you really don't like Mbermo and you don't think he's going to play, then yeah, I don't mind Mavropanos and Rice. But Mbermo to Rice just feels so low upside. Unless you get a really lucky Declan Rice haul. Are you going to go with no Spurs? I can't believe what's happened with Spurs. People are going bonkers over Spurs. I'm not saying that Spurs can't do really well, but my goodness, that like people are like, how are you going into this week without Spurs? Are we watching the same team? I don't care if they're slightly better under De Zerbi. It's if you gave me a free hit team, I'd have 1 or 2 of them, but it's not like I'm panicking without having any Spurs players in my team. You know? In terms of my team though, I only have 1 free transfer. And I'm probably going to make 1 free transfer to just buy a goalkeeper. It's really boring for me this week, but then I'm going to activate the wildcard tonight after the deadline, and I'll have my wildcard active for Game Week 35. So I just need to get through this week, basically. Hi, Ross. I have 2 free transfers and 1.4 million in the bank. Want to get rid of Iwobi, Gordon, and João Pedro, and I'm seriously chasing, but don't know where to go. So you've got 2 free transfers. I don't know your chip strategy. Assuming that you've not got a wild card next week, who are good players to buy if you don't have a wild card? I need to think of the fixtures here. This is if you're going to ask questions in the chat, could you please put your chip strategy? It makes it extremely difficult to answer a question when I don't know what chip you've got in play in for the future weeks as well. So who's got a good fixture this week that also has a good fixture for the rest of the season? Wolves, you don't want Wolves. Probably Arsenal. So I would say João Pedro to... You could go Brobby. João Pedro to Brobby, Iwobi to Rice, and Gordon to Rodgers? Can you afford that? João Pedro to Brobby, Iwobi to Rice, and Gordon to Rodgers for a hit if you want to make those 3 moves. I don't think you need to sell all 3 of them right now, and it also depends on your chip strategy. So I've not really answered your question there, but I can't without more info. Dan says, hello, Ross. Hello, Dan. Wildcard 35 plans, including Mbermo to Rice. Is it worth it bringing him forward a week? No bench cover. Yeah, you might as well then. If you plan on doing that anyway, Rice isn't any worse than Mbermo this week, and it means that you've definitely got a player. For what it's worth, I think Mbermo will be in the squad. But yeah, if you don't want to risk it, just do it now. Like I say, Declan Rice isn't any worse this week. Utkarsh says, have triple captain, bench boost, and wildcard. Punt triple captain on Bruno this week, and take a -4 for Dango to Gakpo. I wouldn't take a -4 for Dango to Gakpo, just play Dango. Wildcard in the 35, bench boost 36. Game week team looks like yours. Appreciate the content. You're more than welcome. What I would prefer is wildcard 35, triple captain 36, and bench boost 37 at Kosh. Bench boost 37 actually looks quite nice if you wildcard in 35, and then you can triple captain Erling Haaland in 36. Obviously, if there ends up being the double in 37, then you would just flip it. So you would wildcard 35, bench boost 36, triple captain 37. But no, I wouldn't triple captain this week, personally. And I wouldn't take a hit to do Dango to Gakpo. Free hit, I have 100 million. Okay, Hayden. Ryan Gabriel, Porro, Mavropanos, nice defense. Bruno, Soboslai, or Gakpo, Xavi, Salah, Bowen, and Watkins. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, easy. I would honestly prefer Soboslai to Gakpo because there is a chance that Soboslai is on penalties. You cannot rule it out. Cannot rule it out. Hello from Kenya. It's 1838. Ecstatic content. Big love to Kenya. Big love. So is this the member stream? I love that everyone's confused about member streams today. I don't even know anymore. Wouldn't surprise me if I accidentally did say it as a members only stream. No, there's too many people in here for it to be members. I don't have that many members. Adwait Torres says, hello Ross, love your content. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. 4 free transfers. Timber, Ekatike, Ryan to Justin, Rogers, Gyökeres, or do Saliba, Rogers, and DCL? Saliba, Rogers, and DCL is still better, even though you're chasing. If you do want to make that move, I genuinely do prefer Strauch to Justin or Goodmanson to Justin. I know Justin just hauled, but I think in general I prefer those other two. I just think the Saliba, Rogers, DCL is probably the slightly better combo. I know it's wild, but thoughts on Tati as a differential. It's not that wild. What's his minutes been like is the only thing. I've not really checked. Is he a midfielder or a forward? I don't even know what he is in FPL. But yeah, he is a forward. Okay. I mean, I don't know what happened here, but largely he's starting and getting good minutes. Was this it was a start, by the way. He just came off at half-time against Villa. Yeah, good. Like, his XG's been much better than Jared Bowen's, right? I don't mind Tati as a differential. Quite like it, actually. On wildcard 35, use 2 free transfers or save. It depends if you're fielding 11 or not. You've said you've got Gordon and Timber, but does that mean you're starting Gordon and Timber? Because if so, then yeah, you absolutely use 2 free transfers. But if you can just bench them, then no. Basically, I would only use those transfers if it's to basically field an 11. If you can already field an 11, maybe just keep them. Because they could become useful in Game Week 38, for example. Bolivian Navy, thank you for the very generous super chat, my friend. You do not need to do that, but that's very, very kind. Thank you. Wise one, I need big help. That's what I'm here for. Forgot to activate the bench boost last game week. Okay. Sat here with bench boost and free hit, 2 free transfers, and 9 players this week. Should I make transfers to cover this week and free hit for the double? What do I do with the bench boost? Any advice on strategy and transfers? So bench boost, I would imagine if your team looks similar-ish to what a lot of other people's looks like, 35 and 37 probably look the best. 36 could work, but basically just look at when your team looks best out of 35, 36, 37. It's going to be very individual to you. In terms of the free hit then, I would say just play it this week unless the 9 players that you have are really good. If the 9 players that you have are really good this week, then just use a transfer or 2 to get to 10 or 11. But if your team looks a little bit weak and you've only got 9, I would just probably free hit. Because you say use your free hit in the double game week, but it's only going to be a double for Man City and Palace. Maximum it will be is a double for Man City, Palace and Bournemouth spread across 2 weeks. So it just feels like a waste of the free hit. In other words, I think you probably free hit this week and then bench boost in 35, 36 or 37. But yeah. Oh, you've given me your team afterwards. I've only just seen that. I'm so sorry. Right, Donnarumma, Dubravka, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Senesi, Anderson, O'Reilly, Bruno, Soboslai, Dango, and Burmo, Rice, Thiago, Welbeck, Pedro. So you've got Donnarumma. You've only got what? Yeah, you've only got 2. So you've got 2. Okay, that's a little bit more difficult. No, I still think you free hit this week. That team looks pretty good. Yeah, I would probably free hit this week. Oh, would I? Sorry, this is a real borderline on the fence question. No, that's not a bad team. But you don't have a goalkeeper. Oh, that's a horrible one, Bolivian Navy. It's one of those I could sit there for an hour and I'd keep going back and forth. I would probably free hit this week still, would be my inclination. Rodgers and Rice are too highly owned for me. Yeah, that's fair. I can't even remember what you said. The question was so long ago. Let me go back. I have 2 free transfers and 1.4 in the bank. Seriously chasing. You're seriously chasing. Enzo Lafie. Eberechi Eze. Casemiro. Dewsbury Hall. I'm just listing players, and if any of them take your fancy, then go there. Obviously, Tati instead of Bowen could be interesting. Cody Gakpo or Florian Wirtz, if you want a Liverpool player. There are loads of places you can go. Like, if you're really chasing, just pick someone at random that you like. That PAA guy. No free hit or wild card. Dango to Xavi. 3 free transfers. Rice is boring. Yeah, I guess you could. I quite like Dango, though. Against West Ham at home. If you've got no wild card. And Palace at home. Even Liverpool away. You'd want to bench him in 36. Yeah, you could do Dango to Xavi. It doesn't excite me that much, but I probably would prefer to have Xavi Simons this week. No vest today, sad times. Some people loved the vest, some people hated the vest. You know, some people were like, don't like the vest. Put on a t-shirt. On Instagram and TikTok, people are like, you're much better than that, Ross. What the hell is this vest? So, drunk water too quickly, apparently. Yeah, so the vest is no more. We're back to a t-shirt. My shoulders are covered up. Shaunek says, hello, Ross. Hello, Shaunek. I've got your team. 2 free transfers, 0.2 in the bank. Transfers, no chip. So you've got a full team, but you've got Gordon in your starting 11. Gordon's probably a sell then as a result. And Haaland's in your starting 11. So have you got 9 players? Is that correct? Yeah, you've got 9 players. So I think you use your 2 free transfers to sell Gordon. Actually, I'd probably just use 1. I would probably only sell Gordon and just play 10 players with no chip left. So I would do Anthony Gordon to Declan Rice. Yeah. Or Sarr. Ismaila Sarr or Declan Rice in for Gordon, Shaunak, would be my transfer in your position with only 2 free transfers and no chips available. Had enough of FPL, went for free hit 33, wildcard 35, bench boost 36, and it's already lost. How on earth has that already lost? You've still got your wildcard and bench boost to play. Other people have already used their wildcard and bench boost. There's no way for you to know it's already lost. Obviously, the bench boost went very well, but you've still got 2 of your most important chips to use, so I don't know how you could say it's a fail already, or it's lost already. Hello, Ross. After bench boost 33 success, I'm finally in the top 80k. Proud of you, APAC. Good job. You're on your free hit this week. Okay. Do I need to change anything? Want to push for that first top 50k finish? Roos, VVD, Gabriel, Saliba, Goods, Salah, Bruno, Rodgers, Wirtz, and Jai, Bowen, Thiago. No, it's a lovely team. Nothing to change there. I'm not going to put you off anything. You're clearly doing very well. You've got your free hit active. Bench boost went well. Looks like a really nice setup. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything to put you off of that team at all. What's your goal for the season? Top 100k? I think it's unrealistic. I'm 50 points off. So I'd need to gain 10 points on the field every week for the next 5 weeks. And obviously, if I lose any points this week when I don't have the free hit active, then it's going to be more than 50 points. So I'd then have to catch up like 60 points in 4 weeks, which basically, unless I get super lucky, I can't imagine I hit top 100k. But that's still the aim. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be sad, though. It's ended my pretty good run. Yeah, look. That runs over. This was my, 35k, 10 point. This was sad. This, to get into the top 10k, do you know how many points you needed? You needed 2,606 points. So there were people that were ranked 9k with the exact same number of points. They just made less transfers than me across the season. So if I'd have had one more point, it would have been like 8 point something k. So it was 10.1k, 29.8k, 12.5k. So like it's four good years in a row, and then this year, which obviously isn't going to be. I've not been like I'm at my highest rank of the season. Look how rubbish that's gone. 317. Oh no, well I guess last week was my highest rank of the season, but you know what I mean. Sad times. Or just do Donnarumma to Raya, Pedro to Bowen, any attacker in field 11 and attack another game week with the free hit. Donnarumma to Raya, Pedro to Bowen, or any attacker and field 11 and attack. Yeah, that also works, Bolivian Navy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your team and you've got the chips available. Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm thinking about getting Salah, but I'm not sure now. I was just going to get Dewsbury Hall for Dango, but maybe I could sell Haaland.
Yeah, could do.
But I'm worried about team value, so I need to figure out if the wild card, if I can afford my wild card if I do that.
Okay.
I don't know though. Are you getting Salah?
I've got one free transfer and no goalkeeper.
Oh.
So no.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, Pickle has arrived. Pickle's finished work, which is nice. I'll be honest, I still do prefer Saturday streams, guys. I say this every week, but yeah, I don't know. Just Saturday streams are a vibe. Friday streams are less. Also, I don't know if you saw this week, but there are no games on Sunday. So we've got a game tonight. The rest of the game's basically on Saturday. Obviously, Man United, Brentford on Monday, but there's nothing on Sunday. Bring her on camera. She's just finished work. There's no chance she'll come on camera. Hello, Ross. Play with 10 or Gordon to Soboslai for a hit? I would honestly do Gordon to Soboslai for a hit. Worst case scenario, Soboslai gets a couple of points. You lose like 2. I think it's a pretty good move. I'm very happy for people to take a hit if it means fielding an extra player. Because like it's the classic saying, but you're essentially a hit becomes -2 rather than -4. Due to just appearance points. If you bring in a player that is a DEFCON maniac, like Elliot Anderson, then it's basically for free. Because they'll get the appearance points in DEFCON more often than not, which is 4 points. So, yeah, I have no issue taking a hit for especially a DEFCON monster this week. If it means that you gain an extra player, I should make that very clear. Leeds Chelsea in the FA Cup on Sunday. Yeah, obviously it's the FA Cup, but I mean from a Premier League perspective, there's nothing on the Sunday. Are you excited for a possible Leif Davis return to FPL next season? Don't get me going on Leif Davis, man. What a player. What a left back. I do love Leif Davis. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, guys, please do smash that like button. There are over 1,000 people here, but only 100 likes, which means 90% of you haven't liked the stream. So please do. And also, if you haven't subscribed and this is your first time watching, or if you've watched a few times and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing as well. I very much appreciate the support. Any idea on who starts as the striker for Everton? Not massively, no. There are a few things we are slightly unsure on. I'd love to know about Mbermo and Cunha, to be honest. That would be nice, but we don't know, so. I still think you can pick Cunha on free hit if you want to. Just be aware that there's a chance that he doesn't play. Or there's a chance he's on the bench, of course. So you've got to be willing to take that risk. I guess on a free hit, just make sure you've got a good first sub. Would you even do it a -4 for a goalkeeper, Ross, to field 11? Probably, mate. Probably. Because, again, goalkeepers usually will get you 2 points. Even if if they make a few saves and they concede a goal, they'll get you 3. They could get a clean sheet. I suppose the thing is with a goalkeeper, 6 points is like a lot of the time it's kind of not their ceiling, but a good week is 6 points. So you'd only gain 2, but I still think I would take a hit and just hope that you get lucky. Bye, Ross. Fingers crossed for the green arrows. I'm off to the game. Good luck, mate. Hopefully Sunderland do well. Any news on Gordon? I think they said Gordon wasn't going to be available, right? Just looking now. What was the news? Yeah, Gordon won't be available for Arsenal. Just wanted to confirm that. But yeah, that was the news we got. I think I just saw as well. Let's bring it up on here. I think the latest the odds are out for I think the latest odds are out from Rob T. Rob T FPL. Yeah, here we go. I really don't know what goalkeeper to buy. Let me run a poll. What goalkeeper would you buy if you were me? I am 50 points off top 100k and wildcarding in game week 35. Right, guys, I'm wildcarding in game week 35. So this is 1 week only. Which goalkeeper should I buy? I want to make it very clear for those voting in the poll. 1 week only. Raya. Roofs. Because I think if it was definitely long term, it's Raya is the best one. Kinski. Or probably I wouldn't go Woodman now, would I? I'll just put other. There you go. I've put a poll in the chat for which goalkeeper I should buy. Please let me know what you think. Khan says 3.3 million in the bank, 4 free transfers. Okay, I've got your team on wildcard next week. What should I do? So you've got a full defense, full midfield. You've got a full team with 4 free transfers. I would be tempted to do something like Vandenberg to Porro. Or, no, actually, I'd sell Gordon probably for a fun midfielder and go 3 at the back. So I would do Gordon. You've got Bruno, Dango, Garner, Wilson. Gordon 2, Xavi Simmons, or Soboslai, or Gibbs White, or something like that. But I would do, yeah, not Gibbs White actually, because you've got Mukiele. I would essentially sell Gordon to a fun midfielder, bench Vandenberg, play a 3-5-2, and then roll the 3 free transfers into the wildcard. But basically, any midfielder you fancy, mate. I'm not going to specify that it has to be a specific one. You can, I mean, Iliman and Jai was another one I like that I didn't mention. Jamie D says, Raya, Van Dijk, Chow, Gabriel, Anderson, Mbermo, Soboslai, Fernandez, Wilson, Xavi, Richarlison. 0 free transfers. Should I -4 Richarlison to Bowen or Watkins? Wildcard and bench boost to go. What's the situation with Richarlison? I couldn't tell you. I have no desire to ever pick him as a player. Does he not start? He starts, just comes off early, right? Probably not then. I probably would just run with it. Unless I've missed something on Richarlison. I would just run with it and I would wildcard next week and bench boost 36. So wildcard 35, bench boost 36. And just go with that team, Jamie, and just hope that it does well for you. Mbermo to Casemiro, 1 free transfer wildcard next week. Thoughts? No. No. Maybe I'm a bit too positive on Mbermo. Maybe it's copium. Is Chow really bad this week or decent? Well, he's not great, but Arsenal aren't the most free-flowing team. So, I'm interested. 55% of you have gone Raya. Like, do you not... I'm surprised that many people think, if I'm chasing, Raya's the one. Talk to me. Anyone that voted Raya in the poll, why are you voting Raya? Is it just like clean sheet odds, you fancy Arsenal every time? Is it because Newcastle are without Gordon? Or do you think that maybe Arsenal will concede more shots in this one? Like, what is it about Raya that everyone is... I'm surprised on free hit that everyone has gone for Raya as well. I thought there would be more spread there, to be honest. Just odds. Don't want to lose potential picks. Safety pick. Raya purely just safety. Safety. When you say safety, though, you put Raya as an option. No, I expect Raya to be the favourite. I just didn't expect Raya to be 25% clear of second place. You know what I mean? It's not that, like, I think, like, I probably would just about lean Raya. I'm just surprised that I think in a week where he's not the standout, that so many people are going there. Like, if you look at free hits, I'm struggling to find any that don't have Raya in there. Yeah, double. To be fair, double Arsenal defense is nice. I get it. I do get it. I'm just, yeah, like I said, I'm surprised he's as popular as he is. I've picked Salah, Bruno, Xavi, Gibbs White, Thiago, Bowen, and Watkins. Basically, the main attacker from every team. Yeah, it's actually quite a nice way of looking at it. I quite like that. It's almost like the talisman theory, isn't it? Like that you pick the player that leads that team, and that if there's a goal that pops up for any of those teams, you probably picked the player you think would be most likely to have at least contributed to that goal. So, yeah, I really like the thought process behind that, yeah. 6 is more likely than the 13 from others. Yeah, this is true. Maybe like a higher floor, lower ceiling for Raya. Goalkeepers have low ceiling anyway, take risk elsewhere. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I just go Raya. It's between Raya and Roofs, probably. I don't think I'm going to go Kinski. I just think, like, if Roofs does keep a clean sheet, it probably is a big score. Let me actually have a look at Roofs' points this season. Let's have a look. I mean, he's just got an 11 pointer, for God's sake. That doesn't help. That doesn't help my theory. But to be honest, these points outside of that, 1, 2, 1, 1, 6, 1, 2, 2, 3, 7, 3, 7, 9. This is the thing. There's not many 6s in there, are there? 10, 10, 8, 8. If Roofs cleans, it's probably bigger. Don't know. I would add Pickford to the poll. I'm not going to add Pickford to the poll because I have Bowen. I'm not buying a goalkeeper that goes against one of my attackers, which is why I've only listed really Roofs, Kinski, and... I suppose Sells could be added to the conversation, but I think I'd rather back Sunderland in a home game. Let's actually have a look at home recently. Forest surely score, though. Do they? Let's actually have a look. Let's have a look recently. Let's go home only. Let's go teams. Let's go defensive. And let's go XGC per appearance. And I'll actually go over the last, like, 10 weeks. Yeah, Sunderland aren't as good at home as they used to be, but that's still not terrible data. What about if I just go then away only? And I just want to look at Forest attacking data away from home. Yeah, Forest are pretty bad away from home, though, in terms of goal threat. They don't create too many chances. I don't know. I'll have a think. Hi, who would you bench? Rogers, Solanke, Wilson, and Burmo. Probably Burmo because he's the most likely to be benched himself, so I would probably bench him. Should I take a hit for Palmer to Rogers to afford Senesi to Gabriel? I only have 6 players playing or any other options. Yeah, I like Palmer down to any midfielder and Senesi to Gabriel. I think that's a nice set of transfers, Jake. It doesn't have to be Rogers. If not Rogers, who would I go for? Soboslai, Declan Rice, Iliman Ndiaye, Xavi Simons. But I think if you're not on wildcard next week and you need to play for the rest of the season, I actually think Rogers is a really nice season keeper, Jake. So yeah, I quite like those moves. Gakpo or Cunha? It's a good question. I think if I knew Cunha was going to start, I'd probably go Cunha. Thank you.
I've just got to hope he does.
You've got a sub though, haven't you?
I have Hall, but if I did a Salon transfer, I might have like a striker, a cheap striker in as my sub.
Or like Robbie.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly what I was going to do.
I like Robbie.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to do.
Sorry, my lips felt quite dry. I requested the Vaseline. What do you think of Dango? Dango's one of those where I'm fine having him, but I wouldn't pick him on a free hit or anything like that, or bring him in. I also wouldn't use a transfer taking him out. It's kind of like one of those where if you have him, you can just play him. But I'm not super excited by owning Dango. It is quite fun that I've got 4 players on Monday night. Lots of people saying Pickford. Again, I'm not going to put Pickford in my team when I own Jared Bowen. Normally, I don't really care too much about clashes, but I think in a one-off week where I'm literally only making a goalkeeper transfer, I might as well go for maximum upside. Tonight's fixture screams 0-0 Ross Trust. I think it screams like 1-1. Lamans? No, I'm not going to go Lamans when I've got Dango and Thiago, you know? I feel like people are suggesting, look at my team, and I will not go for a goalkeeper against any of my attackers, which is why I've not looked at Emi Martinez, Pickford, Lamans, Hermanson, Kelleher. I wouldn't go for any of those. Same 4 on Monday for me. Capping Thiago as United are not good, I'll say. I don't mind Thiago cap. Did you see how many chances Calvert-Lewin got? Imagine if Thiago gets all those chances. He's not missing that many. I'm late. What have I missed? Nothing, Cats. You haven't missed much at all. Just me yapping about all sorts of nonsense. But basically every live stream, you know. Somerville or Rodgers or Njai or Wilson. Pick one. Honestly, probably Njai or Rodgers. Would probably Njai, then Rodgers, then Somerville, then Wilson if it's on free hit. If you're buying them, I think maybe Morgan Rodgers would be top of my list. I might actually have Rodgers on the wildcard. Morgan Gibbs-White, Salah or Eze 1 week punt. And Watkins or Solanke. Gibbs-White, Salah or Eze 1 week punt. I think it's just Salah. I do like the Eze shout though. And Watkins or Solanke. If you're going full punty, I think Solanke. Watkins, I think, is probably the slightly better FPL option. I like Salah out of all of those options. Gibbs-White and Solanke or Njai and Cunha. Ooh. If I knew Cunha was starting, I prefer Njai and Cunha. But because I don't know that, Gibbs-White and Solanke is probably your best bet. Why aren't you capping Salah? I don't own Salah. How would I cap Salah? If I had Salah, I'd cap Salah. Oh, I don't think I would. I'd vice cap Salah. There's 1-6 all season versus Burnley for Roofs. Really? Okay. Can we get wildcard tinkering after the stream? Maybe, but the thing is, as soon as the stream ends, then I won't be able to tinker because all of the sites will be down, updating, so I'd have to then wait around for like 45 minutes to an hour for the sites to update, so probably not. But on Sunday, I actually plan on Sunday morning on doing it, because there's no football on Sunday to wait for, so probably Saturday night after the games, I'll get back from, I'm having a day out in London with the pickle, I'll probably get back and record a wildcard video. I mean, I can do like a wildcard active video, basically. Are the Spurs assets being overhyped? Marginally. Listen, they look better under De Zerbi. Wolves aren't very good. It's a good game for them, and they're differential on a free hit. Like, I think they are being correctly considered, but yeah, I don't think, like, people are saying to me, how can you have no Spurs? Are you nervous going without Spurs? It's like, listen, on a free hit I'd have them, but I'm not nervous backing against a team that have won, I don't know, like 1 game from their last 15 or whatever it is. Can we get some GeoGuessr? I actually did a GeoGuessr live stream an hour and a half on my GeoRaptor channel earlier, so you can feel free to watch that after the stream, because obviously that was... Isak as a differential, okay, sir. Yeah, I quite like Isak. The thing is, I wouldn't want Isak instead of... Let me put it this way. I think the only way I'd fit in Isak is if it was as well as Salah and Bruno, and I wasn't sacrificing elsewhere. So I think you have to have decent team value to be able to squeeze Isak in. But if you can, then yeah, I'm there for it. I think Isak will start. I think actually Gakpo is probably the most at risk of not starting. Morgan, Gibbs-White and Kinski / Hermansen, or Gakpo and Roofs / Hermansen. So Gibbs-White and Kinski or Gakpo and Roofs. Probably Gakpo and Roofs. Yeah, Gakpo and Roofs, I think. Saliba and Kanate over Gabriel and Van Dijk on free hit. Nah, that just feels like... Nah, that's overthinking. That's doing too much, I would say. Saliba and Kanate are inferior to Gabriel and Van Dijk. Mainly from a goal threat perspective, but also from a DEFCON perspective. Like, Gabriel and Van Dijk are just better. The only way I would do that is if you're like 100 points off and you're just trying everything to catch up. Then you can go Saliba and Kanate. 2 out of 3 on free hit from Wilson, Gibbs, White and Njai. Which combo of 2 and why? I would just go Gibbs, White and Iliman and Njai because they're lower owned, and I would want to try and differentiate on free hit. If I am completely ignoring ownership, I still think I would go Gibbs, White and Njai. Njai for pens and Gibbs, White because he's in a great run of form. And Aston Villa aren't a bad defence at all. So yeah, I would go Gibbs, White and Iliman and Njai. Thoughts on Castellanos on free hit this week, Ross? Tati. Yeah, I like Tati. We spoke about it. His XG is much better than Jared Bowen's, and his minutes have been pretty good. So I have no issue going for Tati on free hit. I think it's quite fun. Del Schaefer says, or Schaefer, Raya, Van Dijk, Dallo, Gabriel, Soboslai, King, Bruno, Dango, Solanke, Bowen, Thiago. Should I sell King for another mid for a -4? Chasing, thanks, Ross. King. I couldn't begin to tell you what's happening with King right now. That is a throwback to the start of the season. Does he get any minutes? He does start occasionally. Got a goal and an assist against Burnley. My gut instinct is, yeah, probably to sell King, I would say. Yeah, I'd be willing to sell King if you're chasing as well. As to who you buy, trust your gut feeling on that one. Like, there's so many lowly owned mids. Like, you could go like Xavi Simons. You could go, again, Iliman and Jai I like a lot. Could go Florian Wirtz if you have the money, or Soboslai. If you've not got a lot of money, I really like Dewsbury Hall. King to Dewsbury Hall, you don't even need much money to make that upgrade. Brandon says, hope you are well, Ross. I'm well, thanks, Brandon. I've got 1 free transfer with 10 playing players. Would you do Timber to Porro / Mavropanos for a full 11, wildcarding 35, or Simmons for a 1-week punt? I really like Porro and Mavropanos, and they may well outscore Simmons. But if you have the ability to go for Simmons and field 11 instead, I would do that. I'm assuming that going for Simmons also allows you to get a full playing 11. If it doesn't, then of course, go for Porro or Mavropanos instead. Question, Ross, can you play the piano? No, I played a little bit during school. I got to an okay stage. I wasn't able to read music or anything. It was just like rehearsing songs, pieces of music. But no, I've never played an instrument really. In all fairness, like, because I grew up playing professional football, like my whole life was dedicated to football up until when I left Spurs at 15. So up until 15, I was training 4 times a week, playing twice a week. I was just playing football my whole life. Like, there wasn't an evening where I was free. And if I wasn't playing football, I was practicing football. And obviously you still have things like schoolwork and that. So yeah, up until basically 16, it was just football, football, football. Kinski or Hermansen? I'd go Kinski, personally. Yeah, Tati over Bowen would be a consideration, for sure. For sure. What position were you? I was a left winger so I played for Spurs for 8 seasons. I was a left winger for 6 of them, and I was a left back for 2 of them. After I moved, I think I played left back like under 12s, under 13s. My coach at the time, and one of the higher ups at the academy, said to my mum, like, I should probably transition to a fullback because it's easier to make it. He said, I have the brain for it. I played really well at left back, but I always enjoyed being a left mid more than a left back. My favourite formation to play was 4-3-3 as a left winger. I loved that. 1 number 9, another winger on the other side. I loved having a left 8 to combine with. Because the thing is, if you're playing a 4-4-2, it's more defensive work and you've also got 2 forwards, so you're not as attacking. And when you've only got 2 midfielders then, they're always tucking in and they're a little bit closer. I feel like when you've got a midfield 3 and you've got a left centre mid to play out, I just loved it. So you'd have a little triangle with your left winger, your left centre mid and your left back. I don't know why teams don't play the standard 4-3-3 more often. I love it. What a formation. So that was my favourite. Left wing and a 4-4-3-3. That's my rant about formations. Dumb. Ross was a Bale regen. I honestly was a bit of a Bale regen. Did you play with any notable players who are pro now? Not really. At Chelsea, I played with Ola Aina because I played for Chelsea for a bit. At Arsenal, I played with Ainsley Maitland-Niles because I played for Arsenal for a bit. At Spurs, Kyle Walker-Peters is probably arguably the most well-known one that made it. But when I played for Spurs, Kyle Walker-Peters wasn't very good. Who else would have people heard of? You might have heard of Josh Onomar. He was probably the best player at Spurs when I was there. I don't even know who Josh Onomar plays for now. This is it, though. Like, think about it. The amount of players that I've played with, and I can only name you like 3 or 4 that you might have heard of. It's so difficult to make it. Now, Kane was a few years above me, but was also obviously there while I was at Spurs. Everyone knows Josh Onomar. Okay, there you go, Josh Onomar then. But he's not playing at a very high level, is he, right now? Rank the formations. I'd always choose 4 at the back because I'm very old-fashioned. So I would go for like 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, something like that. Love a good 4 at the back. Ross, mate, get on the FPL version of Wordle after the deadline. What even is that? FPL Wordle. Is it a thing? I can't believe that's a thing. I love that. Okay, yeah, we can do that after. You played for Spurs for 10 years, but you aren't a Spurs fan. Yeah, I started playing for Spurs when I was 7, but I'd already been a Man United fan for 7 years, so I'm not just going to switch to supporting Spurs because I played for him, you know? Only bench boost left is Sanchez to Raya and Chow to Mukiele. Yeah, lovely stuff. They seem like pretty good transfers. And thank you for being a member for 5 months. Charulage. I'm using my wild card next week and have 2 free transfers. Should I bring in Simmons and Porro for Gordon and Keane this week? Simmons and Porro for Gordon and Keane. I don't know about selling Keane. No, I'd keep Keane. Simmons in for Gordon feels good. Am I missing something on Michael Keane? I feel like Keane's even more nailed right, surely. Because Branthwaite's out for the season. I just want to make sure I haven't missed something in a presser, right? Does Keane not start for them if Branthwaite's out? Guys, let me know in the comments. I don't want to say something stupid, but if Branthwaite's out for the season, surely Keane comes back in. So I would probably buy Xavi Simmons in that case. We need a left wing. Fancy your shot at CVT United. To be honest, I am exactly the kind of left winger that United need. Not in terms of quality. I'm obviously nowhere near good enough. But I mean, in terms of my style of play, I just hug the touchline. Like, I am annoyingly wide as a wide player. I played on the left wing. I'm left-footed. And I just hug the touchline and go up and down the wing. Which is what Man United need, I think, with their system. Cunha just keeps coming inside all the time, doesn't he? I've got Chow, which I could play and get Simmons in. Yeah, I don't mind playing players like Chow this week. It's not the end of the world, especially if they get DEFCON, and you never know if you might get lucky, you know? Yeah, Keane should start. Keane will play. There you go. Ross, will you be playing World Cup Fantasy? I will be playing a variation of it, but I will explain more of that in the near future. But I won't be playing the main World Cup Fantasy game, no. Averill, good to see you. It says, I have 8 players not playing, including Gordon. Should I wildcard right now instead of 35? I have 2 free transfers with me. Honestly, mate, I genuinely think you're better just using both transfers and wildcarding next week and playing with 10. Or even using 3, taking a hit, and then wildcarding in 35. The reason I say that is the team that you will wildcard with this week will not be as good as the team next week because you'll want 3 Palace or 2 Palace. You'll probably want 2 or 3 Bournemouth if they double. You want 3 Manchester City. You probably won't want players like multiple Man United. I just don't see how you wildcard this week with a good team. So I would still wildcard 35 Averill. Thor says, no chips active, hoping to survive with Roofs, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Munoz, Alderete, Dewsbury Hall, Gibbs White, Rogers, Bruno, Thiago, Bowen. It's a lovely team, mate. It's probably slightly better than mine, to be honest, Thor. So, yeah, I'd be very happy with that team. And I would hope that you could get something semi-decent from that. I love Dewsbury Hall, love Rogers, love Gibbs White, love Alderete. Yeah, I've got Roofs in guys. It's a really nice, strong team. Hrishi says, Roofs, Pedro Porro, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Bruno Xavi, Salah captain, Rogers, Bias, Dewsbury Hall, Bowen, Watkins, bench of Kinski, Mukiele, Brobby, Heaven. Free hit 34, okay. Yeah, really strong. That's very, very, very close to what I would be going with on a free hit. I mean, you could differentiate away because you've got Rogers and Watkins. Like, do you want double Villa against Fulham? You could look elsewhere, but it's still really, really strong. I'd be more than happy to go with that team, Hrishi. Abby says, Rice, Isak, Soboslai, Gakpo, Verts. Pick one, money, no object. I like Isak there. Probably Isak then Soboslai if I had to choose my top 2. Would go for Raya, very safe option. Yeah, maybe I do just go for Raya. Maybe I'd stop trying to chase an upside with the goalkeeper and just pick the one most likely to keep a clean sheet. Is it absolutely ridiculous to pick Tati over Bowen? No, we just discussed this. Like, Tati's goal threat is better than Jared Bowen's. If you're picking based on goal threat, Tati's the one. Dale says, me again. Hello, Dale. Wildcard 35, bench boost 36, when's triple captain? If you've got the triple captain, then I would bench boost 37 and I would triple captain 36. So wildcard 35, triple captain 36, bench boost 37. That is assuming that Man City's double goes in 36. Basically, triple captain Haaland in Man City's double and then bench boost in whatever the other week is. If it's 36, 36. If it's 37, obviously bench boost in 37. Timber to who? Just switch to Saliba? I have Gabriel. Yeah, Timber to Saliba works perfectly fine. I'd be more than happy to do that. Do you still drink the food drink? What, Y food? Yeah, I like Y food a lot, if that's the one you're referring to. Xavi is a 1-week punt before wildcard. Yeah, I like Xavi. I think Xavi Simons is a really nice pick this week. Him and Solanke and Porro, like those 3 are all absolutely fine to go for. Salah and Tati or Verts and Bowen? Honestly, Salah and Tati I probably prefer there. Where is the goal-scoring machine, Casemiro? I mean, it goes without saying that I'm not on free hit this week, so that's where. Yeah, I like Casemiro, though. I think he's like the 5th top scoring mid or something this season, isn't he? Long-term, Ross, would you prefer Soboslai and KDH or Casemiro and Xavi? I prefer Soboslai and KDH there. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Y food slaps, man. I like the vanilla's the best, which is a bit boring, but it is. I also like the coffee one. The coffee cold brew, I think it is called. Would you save up all your free transfers before wildcard next week or use them all up? Somewhere in between. I don't think I'd save all of your free... Like, you don't need 5 free transfers if you're wildcarding, but at the same time, I wouldn't burn through them all because it could be useful to have 3 or 4 free transfers in 37, 38. So I would be somewhere in between. I think ideally, if you can go into your wildcard with 2, 3 free transfers, that's perfect. Because then you've still got a bit of flexibility, but you don't feel like you're wasting free transfers. Probably 2 to 3 is the sweet spot. Any more than that, like if you go into your wildcard with 4 or 5 free transfers, that means in 36, 37, 38, in 3 weeks, you're going to have 5 free transfers after playing the wildcard. It feels unnecessary. So I'd use a couple of them, but not use all of them. Would losing a mini-league 40 points ahead right now be a major bottle? Not really. You could get unlucky. And also, it depends what chips are available. But yeah, you would hope with 40-point lead that you can close it out across the next 5 weeks. As long as your team looks decent enough, you know. Agnibar, good to see you. I hope you are, my friend. Love seeing regulars in the chat, man. Makes me very happy. Anyway, sorry, your question. I've got your team. You've got 0.3 in the bank. Any changes / differential for chasing? I don't have any... free hit. Okay, so I didn't see the free hit bit. And you went from 700k to 450k last week. Wow. Okay, right, let's lock in for you then. What do I think of your team? It's honestly really strong. I'm going to say something, and I hope it doesn't offend you. It's a very safe team. Like Declan Rice, Watkins, Solanke, Bowen, Wilson. It's very safe players. David Raya. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I think that's honestly quite a good thing. Like it's a very steady team there, Agniba. I think it could do very well. I also like the fact that you're on a 3-4-3. I've not seen many free hits on a 3-4-3. So yeah, it looks good. Khan says, since I have Bowen, should I still keep Garner? Or Gordon and Garner to Xavi Gakpo? Well, Bowen and Garner aren't related at all, are they? In terms of, like, neither of them are defenders. So you can have Bowen and Garner in the same team like I have. But I obviously much prefer Xavi and Gakpo to Gordon and Garner. I wouldn't sell Garner, but if you're on a free hit, then obviously you don't have Garner. Hopefully that makes sense. There's no need to sell Garner, though. Roger says, hello, Ross. 1 free transfer and 3.2 in the bank. Playing 11, but no subs. Mbermo to Xavi Simons, Gibbs White. Ekatike to Isak, Bowen, Solanke, or roll. I would probably make the forward move and bench Mbermo, because he's nice to have as a sub. I don't think I'd sell Mbermo necessarily. I think Ekatike to Isak and bench Mbermo is quite nice, Roger. I think that's a fairly nice move there. Yeah, I'd probably go for that one. How many points did you get? What, last week? Last week I got 97. So that wasn't the best week, but it could have been worse. For people who have to use wildcard, what players would be recommended for the long term? I might still have it actually here. One sec. That's me big. No, that's not that one. One sec. I can get you a rough wild. I built like a really rough... I'm going to obviously look into it more tonight, but something along those lines. Basically, without going through it in too much detail, we don't know when the double will be for Man City Palace. And there is a world where they actually moved the Bournemouth game from 37 to 36, which would cause a double game week for Bournemouth in 36. So the reason for having 2 drafts is the one on the left is if only Man City and Crystal Palace double. The one on the right is if Bournemouth also get a double game week as well. But regardless, it's basically Arsenal players, City players, Palace players. I quite like Rodgers, Bruno Fernandes. I like Leeds as well. And then obviously maybe Bournemouth assets if Bournemouth do get the double game week as well. But realistically, I think if you're looking at teams to invest in, the 3 would be Arsenal, Chelsea, Palace. Arsenal because they've got great fixtures and they've got great FPL players. Palace and City because they double. And then Leeds, again, if you don't have Leeds players, but they obviously don't play this week. So, coming back to your question, there's only one of those teams that actually play in Game Week 34, which is Arsenal or Rodgers. So I think a good buy this week, Morgan, Rodgers or Arsenal players, I think. So there we go. Who would you bench out of Wilson and Jaya Rice? Probably Wilson. Are you playing GeoGuessr, Ross? No, because I did an hour and a half GeoGuessr stream earlier. For those that are asking and they haven't seen, because it would be nice for people to go and watch it, I'll quickly chuck it in the chat. I did an hour and a half of GeoGuessr live stream on my actual GeoGuessr channel earlier, which is probably where it should always be. So if you haven't seen that and you want to go watch, we did the new turbo mode. So the video is linked here. Feel free to go and watch that after this one, or now. I don't really mind. You do what you want. And yes, it is a necklace for the second question. Is Mbermo fit? I think he was in training, so I'm going to say yes. But if not, hopefully Munoz would come on. If I need more than one auto sub, then I'm obviously screwed and I'll have less than 11 players, but we shall see. Hopefully I don't get unlucky with that. I still don't know which goalkeeper I'm buying. I still don't know if it's going to be Roofs or Raya. I accidentally bought GeoGuessr from one of your streams and haven't used it since. We'll start using it then, Del Schaefer. How about that? You know? How about you actually play GeoGuessr? That's the answer to your problems. Best keeper for this week, I have 2 Arsenal defenders. Honestly, probably just go all in then. Probably Raya. Go 3. Go for 3 of them. Can you make streams the better time for New York time? I think in the future, it was a very impromptu stream, basically. A 1-week punt of Enzo Lafite. I do like that a lot. Yeah, I am a big fan. Do you know what I didn't actually check? Let's see what other Man United fans are saying. Where's the Man United predicted 11? Man United. No. Did I not just click on Man United? Man United. Mbermo at 100%. That's what you like to see. Yeah, I like that. Man United fans 100% predicting Mbermo to start. So Ahmad down at 16. Yeah, that makes sense. So Cunha, Mbermo, and Sesko as the front 3. Okay, that's giving me a bit of a boost. What have they said in terms of Arsenal? Yeah, so Havertz predicted to start. Havertz could be a very fun punt on free hit, you know. -12 this week or wildcard. Somewhere in the middle. If you literally need to take a -12 to get a team out, then maybe just wildcard. Gakpo at 83%. Okay, interesting. I worry slightly about Gakpo. Isak at 100%. I honestly think Isak's probably the one on free hit. I think I would have Isak on a free hit. I think that'd be very fun. FPL Affairs says down to 9 men with Timber and Gordon, 1 free transfer, 1 million in the bank, bench boost chip left. Okay. Team Kelleher, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Timber, Chow, Casemiro, Bruno, Sobosai, Rogers, Gordon, Thiago, bench of Haaland, DCL, Hill. What to do? -4 hit, sell Timber and Gordon. Timber to Saliba, especially as you don't have a wild card left. Timber to Saliba and Gordon to... Oh, that's an interesting one. You've got Rogers, you've got Soboslai, Casemiro, Bruno, maybe Dewsbury Hall. I'm trying to think who else I'd like for the long term. Ismail Assar isn't a horrible buy. I think I would sell Timber and Gordon for a -4 hit to Saliba and a midfielder of your choice that you want for the rest of the season. Because it makes sense, right? Gordon's struggling for fitness, Timber's struggling for fitness. You don't have a wild card, so you're going to need these players long term as well. I just sold King to Gakpo, Ross. I think that's fine. I think King Gakpo probably does start. I think it was actually this guy, George. I think he predicted Gakpo not to start, which was just a little bit of a worry. That was his predicted 11. I mean, again, he could be wrong. He's not 100% accurate. And he did say that Gakpo has a good chance, like 45% chance of starting. It just worried me a little bit seeing that lineup. Because it's like, yeah, that they could absolutely just play Sobo in the 10, Wirtz on the left. Especially if they start Frimpong. That might be enough to put me off. But the thing is, like, probably not. Like, Gakpo probably is fine. And maybe that's a good thing that people are going to be put off. What is this account that you checked? I think you're talking about Jump the Wave, right? Emma Jump the Wave. She basically collects opinions from fans. It's quite useful to just... It is only fan opinion, and often it's wrong, but it's useful to at least see that. Vendel says, need one player to field an 11. Okay. Haaland to Solanke/Isak or Gordon to Xavi? Wildcard next week. Probably Gordon to Xavi, I like. Because you'll lose a bit of team value, most likely, if you sell Haaland as well. Gordon's a player you probably won't want anyway. So I think Gordon to Xavi makes the most sense there. MN Chuckster, I've just seen your teams, your questions. Sorry, mate. Hi, 5 free transfers only, bench boost left. Okay. Team is no goalkeeper, Alderete, Vandenberg, Gabriel, Anderson, Rogers, Bruno, KDH, Wirtz, Wilson, Thiago with 0 subs. Would you get roofs for or Henderson for the rest of the season. Don't like Hendo this week, though. Thanks. I think Roofs is still really nice for the rest of the season. So I agree that probably Roofs would be my goalkeeper of choice. Henderson does save you a transfer to bring in a Crystal Palace player at a later date, but you've got 5 free transfers available. So I think I would do Roofs, just about. You could also, by the way, sell Vandenberg to like Saliba. Do you have the money? How much do you say you have in bank? You didn't tell me. If you've got the money, I also don't mind something like Vandenberg to Saliba. If you don't have the money, then obviously just leave it. Soboslai or Gibbs White? Very close. I marginally prefer Soboslai, but it's a 50-50 coin flip, honestly. Hey, Ross, love the content. Biggest differential punts for this week for us rank gainers. I still think Everton attack are a little bit underrated. I think Tati instead of Bowen could be interesting. I think Brobby and Enzo Lafitte tonight both interest me that not a lot of other people have gone for. And then I think it's stacking. Like, I think going for like triple defense, triple Arsenal defense, or triple Forest defense, if you think they could do well. I think stacking players and teams is called covariance, but I think that's probably your best chance for being differential too. Because a lot of other people spread their risk around, whereas if you go all in on a triple attack or a triple defense, it could pay off really well. Morgan Rogers, I still think, is very underrated on the free hit too, but his overall ownership isn't that low. Florian Wirtz and Isak, by the way, are 2 further players that are very underrated on free hit. Help. 3 free transfers and bench boost left. Sanchez, Van Dijk, Chow, Gabriel, Anderson, Wilson, Dango, Bruno, and Mbeumo, Wirtz, Thiago, bench of Dubravka, Krupi, Senesi, Ekatike. Thank you. I would honestly say Ekatike to Watkins or something along those lines would be of interest to me. And then bench Chow. And then probably leave it there. Oh, no, you don't have a goalkeeper, do you? Okay, two transfers. Sanchez to Roofs and Ekatike to Watkins or Bowen. Ekatike to Watkins or Bowen, and bench Chow, and then Sanchez to Roofs, and I think then leave the third transfer 40. It would be along those lines, I think. Tiger Prawn King says Raya and one of Solanke or Bowen or Roofs and Watkins. Probably Raya and Solanke. Or Raya and Bowen, I think. Any news on Cunha? Honestly, nothing on Cunha, nothing on Mbeumo. I think they're probably both fit, and I would expect both to start, is my prediction. But it could be that neither are fit and neither start. We've not got anything concrete, sadly. Salah as a 1 week punt, is that good? Yes, Salah would... The only 3 names that would be nailed on a free hit, like I would not remove them, is Bruno, Gabriel, Salah. For me, those would be the 3 most nailed on. So if you can only own 3 players this week, Bruno, Gabriel, Salah would be the 3. I'm taking a punt on Solanke. What do you think? It's not really a punt. Like, everyone on the free hit seems to have Solanke, but I do like it a lot. It's not to say it's a bad move. I just think it's not going to be as differential as you think having Solanke in your team. Lots of people are there. The main reason for that is lots of people follow a model, an algorithm that is telling them to do it. So they'll just do whatever the model and algorithm thinks. You'll see that everyone's team on free hit looks very similar because they've all chosen to follow the same model and algorithm. So yeah, basically, a lot of managers are going to have Solanke in their teams, which is a shame. I wish teams were more diverse, but I don't think he's bad. Is the key thing, I suppose. Ross, do you have enough watch hours to start a membership on GeoRaptor? I would buy like a middle range membership, even if you were wearing a necklace. Thanks, mate. I don't see the reason to start memberships when I can't offer anything. Like, there's no value of it, is there? Of starting memberships. Like, for me to offer memberships, I'd have to offer something in return, and I just can't think what I could offer that would make it feel worth it. Is Xavi 4 points better than Joachim Anderson? If you was to ask me to predict now, I'm going to say Xavi scores, Anderson blanks, gets 3 points, Xavi gets 7 or 8. It's probably about 4 points better, yeah, would be my prediction right now. But all you need is an Anderson clean sheet and or a Xavi brace, and it is different to that, right? So, yeah. Tough one. Everyone go and like the stream if you can. Ross works hard and always helps us out. Thank you very much, mate. I try my best. Yeah, thank you. If you are enjoying the stream, please do smash that like button. And more importantly than anything, make sure to subscribe. Why are people so keen on Mavropanos, but no one seems to have Ballard? Sunderland are a better defence and the average is more DEFCON. Ballard is very underrated. It's just Mavropanos is in a very good run of form right now. But yeah, I think Ballard is super underrated on free hit. I had him in my free hit draft on the bench when I showed on Wednesday. I had Ballard instead of Mavropanos. Is Ross still with FPL Pickle? Yeah, she's in the living room. Probably listening. Hello, Pickle. You probably didn't hear that. No, not you. The people didn't hear you, probably. Why Ghana over Njai? I don't know if people are assuming I'm on... I don't know if people are assuming I'm on free hit or if they're just thinking I should just make loads and loads of transfers, but I'm not on free hit, so that's why Ghana over Njai. I mean, if you think this is possibly a free hit team, then I'm feeling very happy. But yeah, this is just my team, and Ghana's been in my team for a while. The annoying thing is with my team that I actually have 6.4 million in the bank. So if I had a goalkeeper, I could do something so exciting this week. I'd probably, if I had a goalkeeper this week, I think I would do Ekatike to Isak and bench Dango. I think would be my move. Enjoy London with Pickle tomorrow, mate. We'll be in Tonbridge watching Torquay, Dean and FPL Cats. Thank you very much, Dean. I appreciate you, mate. The first couple of FPL. I mean, we certainly aren't the first couple. We're the best couple, but not the first couple. What is Pickle planning to do this week? I don't actually know. She's toing and throwing. Are you buying Salah? I think she's buying Salah. Crazy work. Liverpool will be score. Will be score what? What does this mean? It's time to take a -20 for me. I could take a -4 to do Ekatike to Isak. I could be convinced. And captain Isak. Wow. No, I wouldn't captain him. But I could do Ekatike to Isak for a -4. I could also do Mbeumo to Salah. And then Verbruggen to Roofs. Like, it has crossed my mind for a -4 hit. But I feel like I could only do that if I knew that Mbeumo wasn't playing. And I think if Mbeumo plays, then it's probably not worth a -4 hit to do that. So yeah, that's where I'm at. When will you be dropping a Wildcard 35 video? Sunday morning, probably 9 a.m. Let's say 9 a.m. 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. Expect a Wildcard video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see a Wildcard draft. Ross, I'm still second in my mini league. I'm pretty sure I've now reached 80 hits this season. Imagine if you hadn't taken 80 hits. Geo gets a Discord for members, weekly parties and live streams. Yeah, but that's just so much extra work that I don't have the time for. I agree with all of that. I'd love to do all of that. I just don't have the time. Like, for me, my GeoGuessr stuff is my hobby. Then it would become like a full-blown extra job, you know, which I just don't have the time for. I'm also doing a PhD. I need to do the PhD. I don't really understand why everyone is telling you to get Raya in your situation. I think the thought process, Josh, is Roofs even like best case scenario for Roofs is like a 10 or 11 pointer. So it's still not like a 20 pointer. Like, you can't chase a super high upside with a goalkeeper. So why not choose the goalkeeper that's the most likely to get you 6? But 6 points is just a bit, I need more than 6. I might go Roofs. I'm very tempted to go Roofs, to be honest. Yeah. Let me actually start a poll. Do you still have your wild card left to play? I'm running a poll to see if you have your wild card still. I just want to know what percentage of people watching right now still have their wild card to play. Because I think the actual stats are about 25%, about a quarter of engaged managers still have the wild card. I just want to see if, because people are watching me, and my strategy is to wildcard in 35, if it's slightly more skewed in favour of those that still have it. And like I said, I'll have a video out on Sunday morning going through my wildcard draft. Lots to think about. On free hit, thinking last time to captain Salah. Thoughts? I'd be very tempted to captain Salah, yeah, if I was on free hit. I think if you're chasing, it makes a lot of sense because Bruno's going to be very highly owned. Hello, Ross. Really need your help. All chips played. Gordon to who? Got Wilson, Mbermo, Fernandes, and Enzo. I would honestly say Morgan Rogers is probably my favourite long-term midfielder. I think he's got nice fixtures. He's talismanic. He plays every available minute. I think I'd be leaning that way personally. Mbermo to Salah. Let's captain him together, Ross. It is tempting. It is tempting. I'm probably not going to do it though. I might have Salah on wildcard though. Very, very tempted to do that. What's the thinking on Mbermo today? Options you're thinking about? It would just be Mbermo to Salah would be the only thing I'm interested in, to be honest. Hi, Ross. Happy belated Earth Day. Happy belated Earth Day to you as well. Taking a punt on Isak. Free hit 3-4-3. Raya, Gabriel, Porro, Van Dijk, Xavi, Bruno, Salah, Wilson, Solanke, Isak, Bowen. Love that. I think apart from Wilson, that might be 11 for 11. So it would be 10 for 11 of what I would go on a free hit. I think the only change for me is I'd be tempted to just have a bit more fun rather than Wilson in that spot. But it's a really nice team overall. No complaints from me. Drew Thomas, thank you for being here. Drew says, hello, Ross. I have Petro, Gabriel, Anderson, Virgil, O'Reilly, Rice, Semenyo, Palmer, Wilson, Bruno, Thiago, JP, Ekatike, one transfer. Should I bring in Raya, Roos for Petro and Gibbs for Palmer for a -4? So you've got no goalkeeper. How many? So you've got what? Gabriel, Anderson, Van Dijk, Rice, Wilson, Bruno. So you've got 7 players. Honestly, in your position, I think a wild card is interesting, Drew, but maybe you still do save it. I think I would do Ekatike to Isak. Ekatike to Isak and Petrovic to Raya or Roofs. If you can't afford that, then yes, I also like your Gibbs White in for Palmer, Raya Roofs to Petrovic, Raya Roofs in for Petrovic. Basically, I like your moves. I would just be tempted by like a Salah or an Isak instead. She can't hear me because she's put on the really loud fan.
What?
I'm just making sure you're not put on the fan there.
No.
Okay, cool. Because I could hear the fan really loud and I was just making sure it wasn't there. We've got like a really nice like Dyson hot and cold fan thing, but it uses so much energy that it causes a power trip if you plug it into the sockets out there. Whilst I am streaming, that would not be good. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't going to trip the power. Can you get Jimskin on a deadline stream with you? Does Jimskin play FPL? If so, tell him to jump on my stream. Benzema says, hello, Ross. I've got 13 players with 4 free transfers. Thinking of using bench boost this game week. Am I mad to use it in a blank game week? Also considering going differential. Overall rank 201k on wildcard 35. I think if you're on wildcard 35, mate, I would just bench boost in 36 or 37. Like, if you really want to go for it, go for it. It just makes so much more sense for me to use it straight after your wildcard. Dashmate says, miss you, Go. I'm back. Good to see you, my friend. Always got different name. I've got 8 blanks. I've got all of my chips except the triple captain. What's my chip strategy? 1 free transfer and only 2.9 in the bank. Who do I need? You've got all of your chips except triple captain. So free hit this week. Wildcard 35, bench boost 36. Nice and easy. So I would free hit this team. Free hit this week, Dashmate. You've got Just over 30 minutes to make a free hit team. That's plenty of time. Which two on wildcard 34, Wilson and Njai or KDH and Rogers? Wildcard 34. Probably KDH and Rogers, I think, is the better combo there then. What about the Liverpool goalkeeper? I think Alisson has a chance of being back. I think Focal tweeted it, actually. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's what Slot said. Alisson is close to a return of play. Let's see if tomorrow comes too early, yes or no. So I probably would avoid the Liverpool goalkeeper now. I suppose if you've only got Salah, you could choose Alisson and Woodman. But then that feels like a waste of 2 Liverpool spots, to be honest. So I would probably avoid. Wilson on penalties, right? I think it depends who's on the pitch. Maybe. Could be. I hope so. I am wildcarding next week. I have 0 free transfers. I have 11 players starting, but 2 of them are Gordon and Timber. Is it worth taking a -8 hit? I would sell Gordon and Timber. Yeah, I think it probably is worth it. Timber to Saliba and Gordon to any attacker of choice probably does get you some points back. Is actually Timber to Saliba is such a naff transfer, really, isn't it, for upside? Maybe like Timber to Porro and Gordon to Xavi Simons or something. Like, if you're making 2 transfers which chases the upside, then I actually quite like taking hits this week. Again, as long as it's to field 11 players. If you're gaining extra fixtures, it just feels a little bit more worth it to take those hits. Ayush says, Raya Xavi for Verbruggen and Shirky for a -4. Triple captain wildcard bench boost left to play. Yeah, I like that then. Wildcard next week. Triple captain 36, bench boost 37. I think those are nice transfers, Ayush. What would you recommend for a wildcard this week? I would have 3 Man City on the bench. I would have 3 Arsenal in your starting 11. I would probably have 1 Crystal Palace. I'd have Morgan Rogers. I'd have Bruno Fernandes. I'd probably have maybe Thiago and Bowen still. A wild card this week's really difficult. The reason a wild card doesn't work this week and the reason that no one else is really wild carding is the players that have a good fixture this week and that you would want this week aren't really the same players that you want from 35 onwards. Like from 35 onwards, you probably want 3 City, 3 Palace. Palace have Liverpool, City don't play. You probably want 2 or 3 Leeds players who don't play this week. You probably want 1 or 2 Bournemouth or Brighton who don't play this week. It just doesn't really work a wild card this week, I would say. Unless that's your only way to do it is to wildcard this week, then I understand it. Took a hit for Gordon last week, -12 loaded. Good luck. Good luck. Best 2 1-week punts, not on free hit. I think like Porro, Xavi, and Solanke are interesting because you wouldn't want them long term. I like Iliman Njai. I like Tati. I like Isak, Salah. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's not bad. Which 2 for the rest of the season? Rice and Njai, Cunha Ghana. Rice and Njai, probably. Spurs or Liverpool for last man standing? It's got to be Spurs, I think. Do I keep Alderete with no free transfers? Yeah, I don't mind Alderete. Sounds like he's going to be available, doesn't it? Prediction for Leeds-Chelsea in the Cup. Chelsea 2-1. Thanks for the advice, Ross. What about Bowen instead of Isak? Yeah, I don't mind Bowen instead of Isak for sure. I like Isak, but I understand he's not a dead cert pick, kind of. How confident on Mbeumo starting? 75%? People are overlooking Gibbs White too much. I don't think so. He scored a hat-trick last week. He's definitely not being overlooked. Right? He's just... Like, if I go on top transferred in midfielders, I guarantee he's right at the top. Where is it? Transfers in game week. I mean, he is top. He's had 510,000 transfers in. He's definitely not being overlooked. Jesus, 500,000 people have brought him in. It's mental. 330,000 transferred in for Rodgers. Yeah, I'm not buying into the Gibbs White's overlooked. I do think he's a good pick, though. You got just over half an hour till the deadline. Hey, Ross, how's the stream going? Congrats on 1,000 pieces of content. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, stream's going well. Stream is going well. Always enjoy streaming. It's my third live stream of the day. Can you believe it? I'll have a nice sleep tonight. Haven't seen him on many free hits, that's why. I do understand what you mean. He's not been heavily included on the template free hit. Again, I will keep going back to say the same thing. Lots of people are following the same model and algorithm, and Gibbs White isn't on that model and algorithm, hence people aren't picking him. And then a lot of people copy what they see other people do, and it sort of spirals from there. I can guarantee if Gibbs White was on that model and algorithm, he'd be in a lot more teams, you know? Dewsbury Hall or Rice? I mean, Rice is the better pick, but I really like Dewsbury Hall. I genuinely think he's one of the most underrated players in FPL. Mavropanos or Mukiele this week? I still think Mavropanos. Just about. Ross, you need to get Pickle a GeoGuessr and do fun challenges. She doesn't really enjoy GeoGuessr, so I don't think that'll ever happen. You know? You can't make people enjoy stuff. It's not really her thing. Thiago to Havertz on free hit. I tell you what, Havertz might be the cheekiest of punts on a free hit. I think he starts as well. So yeah, I don't mind the Havertz punt at all. You know he's probably not going to get perfect minutes, but if he starts, he could do damage. Why no Sunderland defenders? Again, guys, I'm not free hitting. Like, surely you can tell by the fact I've got Ekatike, Rodon, Dubravka, and Verbruggen. This isn't a free hit team, so I can't just put in anyone I want. Hence, no Sunderland defenders for me. Hence, no Spurs. Hence, no Iliman and Jai. The questions that I keep getting. Like, this is my team, you know? Rodgers and Solanke or Xavi and Watkins on free hit? I quite like Rodgers and Solanke, you know. Yeah. Is the will coming out for your goalkeeper decision? It could do. I could literally let the will decide. Shall I let the will decide? Let's do it. I'm literally just going to do whatever the will says. We need to clear it from last time. Let's clear it from last time. Right. We need to add Roofs, Raya. Okay? We are going to do best 2 of 3. Okay? So needs to land on them twice. I'm literally just going to let the will decide. Right. Roofs gets 1. If it lands on Roofs again, I buy Roofs. If it lands on Raya, we spin again. Roofs. There you go. I'm buying Roofs. I literally I was just going to let the will decide. I couldn't make the decision, so the will was choosing for me. Hi Ross, on free hit, Gakpo and Gibbs White or Isak and Wilson? I quite like Isak and Wilson, or I even like Isak and Gibbs White if you can afford that. Dizarath says, brother, 11. Okay. Verbruggen, Van Hecke, Van Dijk, Chow, Gabriel, Bruno, Dango, Soboslai, Garner, Thiago, Ekatike, bench of Dubravka, Semenyo, Krupi, and Timber. 2 free transfers, 7.3 in the bank, only 8 playing. Need a goalkeeper, defender, and forward. Help. Dennis, you need to remind me what chips you have, my friend. Without knowing your chips, I have no idea how to help. So let me know your chips, then I'll come back to your question. Physio J says, hello, Ross. Only 8 players this week. Gabriel, Van Dijk, Cunha, Bruno, Rice, Wilson, Thiago, Bowen. Wildcard and bench boost left. Should I take a -8 to get 11? If so, who? Keen on Gibbs White. If you're keen on Gibbs White, absolutely get Gibbs White. I would probably take the -8, yeah, and get a full team. And just hope that one of the players that you bring in goes big and pays back that hit. So yes, I would go for it. And then wildcard next week, bench boost 36. But I would just trust your gut feeling. You want Gibbs White? 100% buy Gibbs White. Maybe Pedro Porro as a defender has pretty high upside. And then if you need, what do you need after that? Probably a goalkeeper. So someone like Roofs, Raya, Sells, Kinski's not bad. Bench boost only. Okay, Dennis, right. In that case, with 2 free transfers, I think I would make 3 free transfers for a -4. I would do Verbrugge. No. I would do Dubravka to Roofs. I would do... That's very difficult, actually. You've got Van Hecker as well. Verbruggen to Roofs. Van Hecker to... Oh my god, that's very difficult. Probably Timber, actually. Okay. Verbruggen to Roofs. Timber to Saliba. And then I would probably sell Ekatike for Bowen. Ekatike to Bowen, Timber to Saliba, Verbruggen to Roofs, Dennis. Something like that. I would take the -4 for a full team. Ali says, help with my free hit. A, Solanke, B, Isak. A, Solanke, Isak. B, Solanke, Saka, captain. What am I looking at? Oh, I see. A, Solanke, Isak. B, Solanke, Saka. C, Watkins, and Burmo. C would mean triple United midfield, but I'm at the game. So fun, but risky. I mean, if you're at the game and you want to go for it, then yeah, C. If I ignore that you're at the game, I think I would go A. Solanke, Isak for me feels like the best. Ali Nico. I'm just going to take a drink. 2 seconds. Free hit, please. Yeah, do you know what? I can build a free hit in 2 seconds. Ben says, free hit super difficult this week, ripping my hair out. Yeah, same here, ripping all my hair out. Currently 80k, thinking if I want to be safer, absolutely go for it. I would ignore safety and going for it and just pick the best team. At 80k, it's a good rank. You could fall outside the top 100k, you could go further. But at that stage, mate, you're doing something right. So I would just pick the team that you think's good. Right, what would I do on a free hit? Let's go for it. I would get rid of all of these. Yep. Okay. Right, I would go Salah. I would go... I think I would maybe go Roofs for some fun. I would then say you could go Kinski here. I would go Bowen. Would I? I think I still would. Yeah. I think I would then go Isak. I'm just building a free hit draft for those that are on it and want my opinion on it. I would go Xavi Simons. I would go Skillyman Njai. I would go probably for Porro. I would then... Do you know what? I actually think I would do this. I think I'd go Ballard and Raya. I think that's a bit of fun. I would then go... I wanted to show you the starting 11 rather than putting the bench players on there. So I think then... Let me get rid of Kinski then. I would probably say is the 5th midfielder or 3rd forward. Maybe Rodgers. Yeah, that's quite nice. Something like that on a free hit. I think you'd still be able to afford that, right? Because you could just put 4 million assets in the rest of the team. Yeah, so that's still affordable. I think that's roughly what I would go for on a free hit. And then you can fill out the bench spots with whatever you want. What do we think of that? I think that's fun. It's got some differentials in there. It's not crazy. I mean, it's missing Virgil van Dijk, so maybe instead of Ballard, you could go for Van Dijk. But I wouldn't mind betting against Liverpool this week, to be honest, in terms of defensively. Palace do often score against them. Isak, you sure? I am sure that I would have Isak on a free hit, yeah. I think I'd go for it with Isak. So my favourite Liverpool asset is probably Isak, Salah, Van Dijk. After that, I think Szoboszlai, just in case he's on pens, because there is a chance that Szoboszlai takes the next one instead of Salah. Maybe you could squeeze an Arsenal asset in. Maybe instead of Rodgers, maybe it's Eze. What about that? Something like that as a team? I don't know. I think something along these lines. It might. The fifth midfield spot is difficult. Yeah, you could go for Florian Wirtz. You could go for Gibbs White. You could go for any number of players, but it would be something along those lines. Hopefully that's helpful for those of you that are on free hit this week. I fancy Newcastle to score. Oh yeah, I mean if that's the case, you can have loads of fun with it. You could go for Roofs double, then you could go for like if you fancy Newcastle to score something like Mavropanos, then put Virgil in here. Something like that as a defense could be fun. But I mean it's completely up to you. Like people are saying, what about this player? What about this player? Like absolutely fine. There's so many combinations on a free hit that you could choose. And yeah, I don't mind 4 at the back either. 4 at the back could work really well. That's why you're bald. You pulled out all your hair. Exactly. Exactly that. Newcastle have no Gordon, Livramento, Joelinton, and more. Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that. No way for Eze. Too risky. Same with Madueke. But the whole point of a free hit is that you can take risks, right? As long as you think they start, by all means, take a risk. Who do you think's a safe punt? I mean, safe in terms of minutes, probably Havertz would be the most fun punt. I mean, you could even go Saka. What did the Arsenal fans predict? Did they predict Saka to start? No, Saka's done at 33%. I mean, Eze's up at 89%. Martin Odegaard's 100%, but I don't think you want to go there, really. Yeah, Havertz or Eze seem like the 2 most fun punts. I think if you're looking for a fun punt in the forward line, I think Tati's interesting. And I think Isak. Isak and Tati, very different prices. It depends what you're looking for, but those two I think are quite underrated amongst free hitters this week. Best mid on free hit, 4.9 million or less, thanks. Is Enzo Lafie under that? 4.9. Yeah, probably Enzo Lafie. Trying to think if there's anyone else that would be of any interest to me. Yeah, Enzo Lafie, almost definitely. I think he's still a really fun punt. His data recently has been pretty impressive, to be honest. Pick 2 out of 3 from Gibbs White. Gibbs White, KDH, Solanke already have 2 Spurs. In that case, maybe Gibbs White and Dewsbury Hall if you don't want to go all in on the Spurs. But I think if I ignored the fact that you have 2 Spurs, I'd probably say Gibbs White and Solanke there. I do really like Dewsbury Hall though. I do. Darshil says 15k to 440k and a lot of missed deadlines. That's very sad. I have most of my chips, so hoping to finish strong. Your free hit video helped me. Rodgers, good option for 34. I'm glad to hear it, Darshil. And yeah, I really like Morgan Rodgers this week. I think he's very underrated. Lots of people going for Watkins, Xavi Simmons instead, but I think Rodgers could do very well. Dennis is currently 62k, behind 19 points for first place in my mini league. Doing Dubravka to Roofs, Timber to Saliba / Mukiele, and Ekatike to Bowen / Watkins. Thoughts on midfield and forward? Yeah, that sounds perfect. Saliba, Mukiele. I'd probably go Saliba if you're holding on to them. And I maybe would be tempted by Watkins if you can afford it. Yeah, maybe Watkins. Not on free hit, bench Dallo or Dango. I think Brentford score, so I will say bench Dallo and start Dango. I wouldn't back Man United to keep a clean sheet on Monday night, so yeah, I'd go for it. When are you wildcarding? Game week 35, so I'll activate my wildcard tonight. Is Gibbs White worth it because he makes it so you wouldn't want any Sunderland defence? This is it. Like, if you think Gibbs White's good, then you inherently think that Sunderland defence are bad, right? It's just the way it is. I know I said I would trust the will, but I am wondering if I should just buy Raya. I really don't know what goalkeeper to buy, and I've only got 15 minutes to decide. It's so boring, isn't it, going Raya? But I do think that Forest score tonight, so I shouldn't really buy Roofs. It's really tough. I could go Kinski, I suppose, but I don't know. Would you rather have Rodgers or Watkins on wildcard or both? Probably would rather Rodgers. I don't think I'd have both. Lafie or Garner? Probably Enzo Lafie. More likely to get you an attacking return. Respect the will, please. I've already pulled the trigger. I should respect the will, shouldn't I? Which two for the rest of the season? Rice and Njai, can you garner? I've already answered that one, Kieran. I said Rice and Njai. Almost definitely Rice and Njai. Guardiola's back and ready to play for City by the 5th to the 10th of May. Interesting. Might affect O'Reilly's minutes slightly, although I think he'll just slot in at centre-back if he's fit and available. Play Dango or Anderson? Dango, probably just about. Mukiele or Anderson? Mukiele, probably. Spam's not been too bad today, been a nice stream. I'm glad, Sim. Thank you for all of your help, as always. Is Can you better than Rodgers this week? I would probably prefer Rodgers, just due to safety of minutes, but... You helped me a lot last week by persuading me to try some differential picks, but I've got Gordon this week, trying to decide between Rodgers, Dewsbury Hill or Gakpo, permanent transfer, not free hit. Rodgers, I like as a permanent transfer, or Dewsbury Hill. I would probably say you've listed them in order of my favourites, Andrew. Rodgers, Dewsbury Hill, Gakpo, in that order, if it's a permanent transfer. Do you really think Arsenal won't concede any goals versus Newcastle? I just don't think they've been very good recently, have they, Newcastle? Away from home, goal threat. No, they've sort of been middling. About home and away over the last 6 game weeks. They've been, they've been middling, Newcastle, haven't they? I don't know. I don't know on Roofs versus Ryan, man. Roofs versus Ryan is such a headache. Would you take Mbeumo out for a -4? No, I wouldn't take him out for a -4. You could always sell him for free, but a -4 seems crazy. No, I wouldn't do Mbeumo to Salah for a -4. Unless we got news in the next 10 minutes that Mbeumo wasn't going to play. But who are we capping, Bruno or Watkins? I prefer Bruno, but if you want to take a risk on Watkins, I respect it. Which 5 from Xavi, Salah, Njai, Wilson, Bruno, Gibbs, White? I would take out Wilson. Wildcard 35 with 2 free transfers in the bank. Sell Timber for Porro or start Anderson? I would just start Anderson, mate. Yeah, I'd start Anderson. VVD, Gabriel, and Alderete are already 3 really good players, so nice and easy decision there, I think. Why are Rice's projected points so high? I guess he's playing at home, very likely to get DEFCON, and then has a bit of assist threat and goal threat. So he's always going to be pretty good for projected points due to the kind of player he is now. DEFCON has changed a lot of players' projected points and made them a lot better. Is Timber 100% out? I think so, yeah. Or it was at least making it seem very likely, but I think he just said he won't be available for this one. I think the way Newcastle have been playing recently is because of individual talent in a moment and not team performance. Fair. I think I'm going to go for Roofs. Hey, bud, Cunha It's Soberslay or Gibbs White. Yeah, I think Cunha will start. I prefer Soberslay and Gibbs White to Cunha just due to that. I don't know. My prediction is that both Cunha and Mbeumo start, but I don't know that. Are you most worried about Salah or Watkins? Probably Salah. He's the one player I feel most like I would like to have. Looking for a goalkeeper for the rest of the season, Ross. Honestly, the answer is probably Henderson. But he has a bad fixture this week. So if not Henderson, I think Roofs or Raya. I think those three are the best keepers to own. Roofs has got a better ceiling. He does, yeah, exactly. Like if he cleans, it's likely to be a bigger clean. I just don't think Sunderland have been very good recently. If Raya and Roofs were both 4.5, who would you pick? Now, it doesn't bother me because I've got 6.4 million in the bank. But if you're just saying long term, like Raya is better than Roofs. And so if they were the same price, I'd have Raya. But in a one-off week, I think Roofs is perfectly fine as well. What price did I buy Verbruggen at? I bought him at 4.4. Okay. I still don't know what I'm doing in terms of a goalkeeper transfer. Keep going back and forth on my mind. This is you predicted Sunderland to concede. This is what I'm saying. I think they probably do. But I've only predicted them to concede one goal. And if they don't, I think he gets a big score. Wildcard 35, 3 free transfers. I can do Gordon / Haaland to Salah / Watkins and bench Dango. Can do Gordon / Haaland to Salah / Watkins and bench Dango. Or just do Gordon to Gakpo as a punt and start Dango. Also can do Vandenberg to Porro. Not sure where to invest the transfers and what to roll. I like Gordon to a player, but I don't... To be fair, I do like Salah and Watkins. I would do Gordon and Haaland to Salah and Watkins and bench Dango. I would have fun with it, Giandre. That's the way I would lean. Thanks for the streams this week, mate. I have to go and play Dad's Taxi. Hope you and Pickle have a great weekend. Thank you very much, Shazam. I appreciate that. Rogers or Garner? Rogers. Bench one of Alderete, Munoz, Dango, Garner. Probably Munoz. Probably Munoz, yeah. Yeah, Xavi Simmons I like as an option. If in doubt, do the obvious. Yeah, maybe I do just do the obvious. Maybe it is just Raya. It's the obvious transfer, but and the thing is, I say, but he's stealing 6 points. It's not. And even if he got 6 points, I don't mind getting 6 points. 6 extra points is quite nice, you know? So maybe it is just do Raya. Or nothing. No, I'm going to make a goalkeeper move. Like, I need to get a goalkeeper. It would be silly not to, I think. Will you do a wildcard 35 directly after the deadline? No, because the game takes like 45 minutes to update. But I will activate the wildcard tonight, yeah, and make sure that I don't miss out on price changes. Flip a coin. We already basically flipped a coin and it was Roofs. We've already done a spin of the wheel. Let's see what the wheel says this time. Has the wheel changed its mind? The wheel's changed its mind now. Wow, that is pretty close there, I think. I can't bring myself to go Raya or Raya. Such boring picks. They are boring picks, aren't they? But Raya is probably going to save a pen now or something like that. I don't know. I just think Sunderland concede tonight. I do. Do you know what? I just need to back my prediction. My prediction is Sunderland concede. So I think I'm going to go Raya. It's really boring, but like, my predictions stand there all stream, bottom left corner of the screen. I've predicted that Sunderland win 2-1. I predict that Arsenal win 3-0. So I should probably go for David Raya, I think. I'm going to regret it if tonight Roofs pulls a huge 10, 11 pointer out the bag. I don't think there's such thing as a high upside goalkeeper necessarily. I say it sometimes, but it just doesn't exist really. Like 8 points versus 6. Like I just want the guy that keeps the clean sheet. And I think Raya is the most likely. So I'm going to make the move before I change my mind. It's so boring. It really is. But I just think I need a goalkeeper. Roos is going to save a pen tonight. Probably, yeah. I'll do it that way, I think. Just in case. Because I'm not going to want Dubravka, but there's a chance, I suppose, I want Verbruggen. Yeah, I'll go Raya. I think. Yeah. Oh, screw it. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. It really is dull, but I'm making it nice and early. I don't want to forget to make it. So there we go. So much fun. I just think Arsenal's clean sheet odds are high, so I want to make that move. Nah, I'm not going to go Pickford because I've got Bowen, you know? And if Bowen scores, I want to be happy, and I wouldn't be happy because my keeper would have conceded. Yep, you got just under 10 minutes until the deadline. Make sure you get your teams locked in. Ross, my main man, would you play Sarr and Wilson from Fulham or Rice and Canate from Liverpool? I think I would play... I don't really understand the question. I like Rice, and I like Wilson, and I like Sarr. I don't mind Canate. I don't really understand the combinations, to be honest. Casemiro versus Garner. Who should I pick and why? Probably Casemiro because he's shown more attacking threat. Rodgers or Garner? Definitely Rodgers. 100% Rodgers there. Listen, I love James Garner, but I don't think I would be picking him on a free hit or with the transfer. Was you looking for a Gymshark sponsorship with your guns on the show the other day? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I don't think my guns are quite big enough. Isak or Watkins? Isak for me. I like Isak and Watkins, to be fair. If you can get them both in, that'd be high upside. Havertz for a -4. Depends on the rest of your team. If it's to get 11 players, yes. If it's just to own Havertz, then definitely not. I'm at the Arsenal game. Havertz and Roofs rather than Solanke and Raya for the vibes. Yeah, maybe. It's the more exciting thing to own an attacker for a game. So, yeah, I get it. Which two for the rest of the season? Rice and Jai Kunyagana. Kieran, you're not paying attention to the live stream. I don't know why, but I've answered that same question 3. I'm going to answer it a 4th time and say Rice and Njai. Just for some reason, in case you didn't hear it the first 3. Dango to Simons. Simons? Xavi Simons. Dango to Xavi for a hit. No. I think sometimes people are so eager to keep getting their question in that they don't then listen to the answer. There's too many players I want on this free hit. I've got a headache. It's the same with every free hit, to be honest. I felt the same last week when I free hit. It's you spend the whole week tinkering, so inevitably you end up with like 40 players in your team across the week. So it's never gonna, yeah, it's never gonna feel like you haven't missed out on points of some kind, you know. Who's the best 5.8 mil striker for -4 as need to transfer, no wildcard and free hit? It's probably Brobby or Tati. Brobby or Tati, I would say. Salakap if massively chasing at 1 million rank. Yeah, I don't mind that. Quite like it, actually. Play Dango or Anderson. Probably Dango. Why is Mbermo yellow flagged? He limped off at the end of the last game, but he's been in training since, so I think he should be okay. I'm just going to ignore the yellow flag, to be honest. I also need to take a screenshot of my team, I just thought. Thoughts on Sesko? I quite like the Sesko punt, but there is a chance he doesn't start, so it is a risk. But I would predict right now that Sesko does start, but I've got it wrong before, so take that with a pinch of salt. Play Szoboszlai or Bowen? Probably Bowen, but I do like Szoboszlai. Do I bench Haaland or sell? Unless you're on wildcard 35, I think you bench Haaland. I don't think I'd sell Haaland because you'll want him back from next week. You've got under 5 minutes until the deadline. Make sure, importantly, 2 things. Make sure you've locked your team in. If you've got a chip active, especially free hit, please make sure that you've actually activated the free hit. Make sure that it says free hit active and that you've not just taken a massive hit. Ross, you need to hydrate. The last time you had water was 20 plus minutes ago. You are so right. There you go. I'm hydrated. The calmness of this stream compared to Harry's is hilarious. We're locked in. Also, I'm not on free hits, so it's pretty chilled. He should have locked in ages ago, man. Why do people panic about their free hits last second? Lock in, nice and early. I didn't lock in last week, to be fair. I made last minute changes on my free hit, so. This saved me last week. Great advice. Yeah, so many people just forget to make sure that their chips are active. I've done it before as well, so just make sure it's done, you know. Who's the differential captaincy pick? Salah, Watkins, Isak, a Spurs player. Gabriel is always a solid option. I think I would go Salah if I had Salah. Minus 78 without free hit like some guy last week. Yeah, I imagine that's just so painful. So painful. If I'm chasing, then Dango over Anderson. Yeah, I think it's the higher upside move. Ødegaard on penalties, right? Depends who's on the pitch. Does depend who's on the pitch. Saka could start. If Saka's not, I suppose it probably is Ødegaard. I mean, it could be Havertz. You've got just over 2 minutes till the deadline. Would you start Mavropanos or Van der Ven? Probably Mavropanos, just for the DEFCON and the goal threat he's shown recently. Is Ballard going to get 90? I think so. I'd assume so. Saka on free hit. I think it's a bit too much of a risk for me. I think there's still a good chance he sits on the bench for this one. So I would say no, but I'm certainly considering Saka on wildcard. Let's just say that. Enzo Laffi captaincy? I mean, it's a big punt, but I do love Enzo Laffi. So yeah, I don't hate it too much. Is Gyökeres not playing? I think it will be Havertz over Gyökeres is my prediction, but it could be Gyökeres. Mavropanos over VVD over Porro. Yeah, Porro, Mavropanos, Virgil, Van Dijk, probably. In that order. I mean, you could put Van Dijk over Mavropanos. I'd have Porro over the two of them, though, for just a bit of fun. So yeah, Porro, Mavropanos, Van Dijk for me, I think. I think Van Dijk isn't a player that you have to include on a free hit. I can fully get behind not including him. Thoughts on Michael Keane and Dewsbury Hall? Yeah, I like both of them. Both good picks. Both cheap picks as well to squeeze in other players. Porro for Timber or just start Chow? If it's for free, I would get Porro for Timber. Yeah, if it's for a hit, just start Chow, I would. Would you start Watkins? Yeah, absolutely. 100. We can't bench Watkins. Rice versus Gakpo versus Xavi. Xavi is the most exciting of the three. Rice is the most boring of the three. I would say Gakpo's minutes are the most doubtful of the three. So I would probably say Xavi, Rice, Gakpo for me in that order. -4 Salah for Mbermo. Probably not. I mean, I can get why you would want to. I don't want to hugely put you off that, but I wouldn't be interested in that, no. You've got just over 30 seconds till the deadline. Just over 30 seconds till the deadline. Order to start for Thiago, Bowen and Solanke. Probably Solanke, Bowen, Thiago. Something like that. Right, there we go. We are going to be locked in by the time you hear my voice. I'm going to tweet my team. and then we'll get to answering your questions. We are locked. I captained Erdegaard. Insane stuff. Cool. Let me do that. Copy. Ross, are you sleeping? It does look like I'm sleeping, actually. I've just looked at the replay because you can't see my eyeballs. I was on my phone. I should maybe lift my phone up so that you can see my face. Like that. Is that better? Does that look pretty? Don't think so. Just posting my team. Sorry, guys. It's the life of a social media influencer. The influencer. I don't have the influenza, but I am an influencer. Five players, 80% likely that's not City or Palace. Gabriel, Rice. No, that's a lie. Gabriel, Bruno. I don't know. Outside of Gabriel and Bruno, there's no one that's like fully nailed on. I'm going to have a real think about it, though. Probably actually Calvert-Lewin, a Leeds defender, and then let's say a second Arsenal defender. Do you know what the exciting club announcement is next week? Yes. And of course, I cannot tell you. Speaking of, we should sort out the club team. Oh, excuse me. Don't be rude. Not you guys. Don't worry. Right. This is obviously there's no deadline tonight because the deadline was earlier this week. It's sort of game week 34 and the midweek games are sort of converged. But this is my team at the moment. So I've already had Semenyo, Gay, Cucurella, and Donnarumma play. Not the best, to be honest. Not the best at all. But if you've not checked out Club, I highly recommend it. They've also added now these live events and owner tasks, which has just made the game so much better. Like, I'll be honest, this has been such a good addition to the game, but it's free to play. There is a link down below in the description if you want to join. Completely free. I highly recommend it. It massively supports me, but we just guess who I'm going to get every week. One week you will get it right, I am sure about that. But yeah, all you have to do is guess any player in the Premier League. I am going to guess. I'm actually going to say a topical player. Van de Ven. I reckon I'm going to get Van de Ven. Let me know in the chat who you think I'm going to get. Can be, like I say, any Premier League player at all. Ismail Assar, yeah. I'd take that. I'd probably keep Sarr, to be fair, if I got Sarr. Matoma, Mavropanos, Dewsbury Hall, Ryan Shirky. Oh, I'd definitely keep Ryan Shirky. I'd love Ryan Shirky, actually. Salah, Xavi. Yeah. Lindelof, so Alderete, Joe Rodon. Right, keep getting your guesses in. We're going to go for it. Base. Core. Rare. Elite. Midfielder. Liverpool. Verts. McAllister. I'm actually just going to reject McAllister. I don't need McAllister. I've already got Soberslye. And did I get rid of Verts? I thought I had Verts. I've got Salah on my bench. I should probably get Salah in my starting 11. I've got Gabriel in my bench as well, but it's like, I don't know how to afford them. I'm way over my salary cap, which is the bigger concern. But yeah, check out Club. There is a link down below in the description to download it. Honestly, guys, I think because I've done 3 live streams today and I'm absolutely knackered and I want some dinner, I'm gonna call it there. I really appreciate all of the support. I'm sorry for not doing a longer stream tonight. If you want to go watch GeoGuessr content, I will once again link my stream I did earlier. I did an hour and a half live stream. Share copy. Feel free to go watch that. It's an hour and a half of just GeoGuessr content and chatting. If you missed it, go watch that. I love you all very much. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you on Sunday morning for a Wildcard 35 draft. I will be activating the wildcard tonight. But until then, thank you very much. See you soon.